Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my annual video predictions, giving my thoughts on what I think is going to happen in the next season of Fear the Walking Dead, which is now for Fear the Walking Dead Season 4. And major spoiler warning, if you guys have not seen the Fear the Walking Dead Season 3 double finale, which aired tonight, so after seeing that one, definitely want to give our thoughts on where we see the direction of the show going and what we think is going to happen in the following season. So, Fear the Walking Dead is always difficult to predict, I feel like, but I almost want to say that it's basically pretty much impossible to say what they're going to do, because I feel like they kind of have an understanding of where the audience thinks things are going to go, and they constantly sort of go the other way. And then sometimes they go back to what you think they'll do, and then they'll go away again. Like, for example, in Season 4 with Ophelia. So a lot of us have predicted that would happen. But then with Troy and some of the other characters, I really felt like Troy could be a cool character to see continue on into the next season. But nope, he's dead already. And like I said, reviews are in the channel for both episodes 15 and 16, as well as every other episode of Fear the Walking Dead Season 3. What an amazing season. So I'll do some videos this week for sure. Maybe we'll do some comparisons between Fear the Walking Dead Season 3 and seasons for The Walking Dead, and kind of compare what they did this season to some of the other seasons in The Walking Dead, and place it in terms of how good we think it is, and where I would place it in terms of Walking Dead seasons in a versus type of situation. So those are to come, and you guys can continue sending me your Q&A questions. So we can, go into everything that there is to talk about for the Season 3 finale. There's a lot, of course, because just the pacing, all the different things they did, it was just a crazy season, Season 3 all the way through. So Season 4 should have a totally new feel to the show, and this is an easy prediction to make because we have a new team, a new creative team that's going to be responsible for Fear the Walking Dead now. We have Scott Gimple being involved, of course, as executive producer, and he's, responsible for The Walking Dead from Season 4 onwards as showrunner. Dave Erickson leaving Fear the Walking Dead, which puts Fear the Walking Dead in totally new hands for showrunning. And with Gimple's involvement as executive producer, we're most likely going to see a different version of Fear starting Season 4 next year, which I would assume probably next summer, next spring, that kind of deal. So I am really excited for the next season and to see kind of, what this looks like, what this is going to be like, because, you go from the first few seasons and you get a certain idea what the feel is, and very similar to Season 3 of The Walking Dead, and then Season 4. With Season 4 of The Walking Dead, you switch from Glenn Mazzara to Scott Gimple as showrunner, and the show felt way different. I mean, way different. If you look at Season 3 of The Walking Dead, it was a pretty crazy season too. You had a lot of deaths, maybe too many, some people would say. You could say maybe something similar about Fear Season 3. And, you go into Season 4 of the original Walking Dead, the pacing is way different. It slows right down. In a lot of ways, it becomes more character-focused, character-centric. It becomes a little bit more, I want to say, stable versus Season 3 of The Walking Dead, which was really crazy with the Governor Woodbury and all the different things happening throughout it, and very fast pacing in that too. I wonder if Fear the Walking Dead might be similar to where you go into Season 4 of Fear. Maybe the pacing slows down a little bit. Maybe you have Gimple being involved and kind of making it kind of a more similar type of feel to The Walking Dead versus what we've seen, in Fear so far. And I would tend to think that's probably what they might be trying to do, and one of the reasons why they might be bringing him on is to try to kind of guide the others and try to have some kind of format that makes it feel a little bit more like The Walking Dead rather than how it's been so far, which is, even though they're in the same universe, they do feel quite different. If you look at Fear the Walking Dead Season 3, we start off with the border, you go through the ranch, you go through storylines with Walker and all this kind of stuff, Daniel and the dam, and then you finish the whole season off, and it's just like this survival journey where, the group has just been trying to stay alive, and, only a few of them have actually managed to do so. The others have been killed this season. So I'm expecting things to slow down a little bit for Fear. I'm not expecting them to keep this kind of crazy pacing up and, pulling out all the stops and throwing everything, including the kitchen damn sink at us, and just being nuts all the way through. I'm expecting it to slow down a bit. I'm expecting to become a little bit more kind of maybe, I want to say focused, but, with Fear, it's like, with season 3, and this is, maybe it's not really a complaint, it's just that they were doing so much all the time, switching spots. Like, okay, you think they're going to be at the ranch? Nope, they're not. You think they're going to be here? Nope, they're not. No, they're going to be at the dam. Oh, no, that's not going to work either. So they're just kind of all over the place in disarray and chaos, and maybe that's more representative of what a zombie apocalypse may actually be like, is that, things just go into hell very quickly, no matter where you turn, where you go, and really you're just trying to hang on for the ride, and just survive it out, so you can eventually get a place. But I would think that we'll probably see more like that in season 4, where they're finally maybe starting to find a place that they can stay at that might be a little bit more stable than what we have seen in season 3, with them just being in disarray all the time. And then, of course, with Scott Gimple coming on, more character focus, like the Alicia episode this season, which was really great. This Land Is Your Land, I think it was. Really great episode for her. I would expect to see more episodes like that with Gimple being involved in the show. Maybe some more for Madison and Nicholas, we'd have to say, and maybe even a little bit for Strand too. Not that they haven't developed the characters as well, but you guys know his kind of style for The Walking Dead. Expecting to see that more for Fear. In terms of the characters, I don't think you can really kill off any of the Clarks at this time, because you just have, like, if we list out who's major characters in Fear right now, this is such a shy roster. You've got Madison, you've got Alicia, Nick. So those are your top, I would say, your A-list, A-plus list, your top of the top for Fear. Strand has to be up there, Daniel. And I'm just thinking, like, can that really be it? You've got Lucianne out there somewhere who kind of returned in a hallucination sequence there, so you might see her return later on in the show here. Then we've got our villains, new villains. It's just feel like they've been there a long time, really just got here, Proctor John and his group. And then everybody else has been blown away. You have everybody from the ranch, you have everybody from the dam, Lola and Ephraim, and just all these characters they kind of brought on in season 3. You're just cut down to such a small amount of, of like good guy survivors with the Clarks and then Strand and Daniel. You have literally on one hand, you can count the amount of, I would say, A-list characters that are still alive in Fear. And Daniel's not in good shape. We'll have to see if everyone survives out the finale when we come back in season 4, if they're all still alive, and then to see this Proctor John character maybe set up more as a strong villain. Possibly, I would say, some kind of them finding a place, him being maybe a cat and mouse game for a few episodes, something like this, him chasing after them, Nick and Daniel maybe getting away due to the whole thing collapsing. I would assume Proctor John will probably survive. I basically am predicting that I think basically everybody will survive because they killed off so many people already. Really, are you going to kill Nick in the collapse or something? Are you going to kill Proctor John in the collapse? I wouldn't think so, because we really do need a good villain. And, maybe even you could say Proctor John might remind people of kind of the governor in a lot of ways from the comics, maybe even. So, really going to have to see what they do with this. But I'm expecting, eventually the group to kind of meet up again. They've been separated a lot throughout the show, but, get back together. Daniel and Nick somehow get out of there and meet with the others eventually. Maybe cat and mouse game with Proctor John. Maybe something happened. Maybe a new group, and then he finds out where they are. He attacks or something. And then past that, it's like really hard to say. That would be a few episodes in. You've got Walker, and you've got Crazy Dog, who I don't know if I'd say they're like A-listers. They're probably like B listers at this point, I guess I would say, for Fear. I would assume that they'll probably meet up with the others at some point here, even though they're going north. Somehow I would think they would have to. If they go into the background too, you just have your 5, and it's pretty hard to fill out a 16-episode season with just 5 characters. You got to add on a lot more. You have to. There was also the other girl that Alicia met as well too, the one with the pickaxe, who we'll have to see if she's able to get away or what happens with her. And man, it's just going to be such a crazy season. So in terms of predictions, I'm just like sitting here like, I'm thinking probably a cat and mouse type game, running away from Proctor John, him going after them because of what they've done, wanting revenge on them, and them trying to get away, eventually finding a spot probably, and then him maybe finding out what it is and then going after it. And maybe even capturing one of them, let's say, something like that, and then the group having to try to go back and rescue him. So I'm expecting him to probably be kind of like a mainstay villain for the season. So maybe Proctor John could be a villain for all of season 4, something like that, or at least maybe the first half of season 4, and then we'll see them go into maybe a totally new territory after that. Maybe head back into the States at some point here soon. It's not that I'm tired of their location, but I feel like they've exhausted a lot of storylines there, and they may want to kind of head back in the U.S., especially if they're going to do any kind of crossover. I would look to see them somehow head Texas or something like that, like Proctor John brought up. So, and then eventually have one of the characters cross over into The Walking Dead, or have a Walking Dead character like Abraham cross over into Fear. Maybe even second half of season 4, or maybe even past that. We'll have to see how that all works out. But as of right now, I mean, I'm basically predicting, I think basically everybody's going to survive for a while. I can't see them killing off too many other characters. And, it's going to be tricky, I think, for them to write season 4, because they just... they killed off so many people that it's got to be hard to work with. It's like, well, what do you do from here? Well, you got to add on people. You're going to have to add on a whole new community or group or something for them to join, because there's so few of them. So we'll see how Walker and Crazy Dog work into that, and if they can all kind of meet up together again, and just what this looks like, and kind of what the new feel is going to be like. So that's the thing that I'm most interested in, is what this new feel of the show is going to be like with the new top level creative team involved, and Dave Erickson not being in the show anymore. I am expecting it to be quite a bit different. So that's kind of it for general predictions for what I think we're going to see. I don't know how many more Fear the Walking Dead videos I'll be creating. Maybe a few more this week, and then we'll probably switch into Walking Dead Season 8 mode and pretty much do that entirely. But I just enjoyed the hell out of Season 3 of Fear. I just, I can't get over it. That's why I've been making a lot of videos for it, even more than, a lot of viewers want. But I just, feel really passionate about it, because the season was just so amazing that I just want to make videos on it. It's like, it's so crazy. So I want to see your guys' comments as well, too. Write the comments below. Let me know how you're feeling right now. How do you feel about the roster? That's one thing that's interesting. Because we have so few survivors, how do you feel about that? What do you think we're going to see, going forward? And, where do you see the next season going? Where do you see them going with the story? What do you think? So leave your comments below. Let me know what you guys think. And if you do like this video, please don't forget to thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe to the channel, I would appreciate it. And you can do it. Put on your subscribing pants. You can subscribe at the bottom. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again soon for another Fear video. Probably a Q&A tomorrow. It's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.